Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today I'm going to go over a recent haul with you of some Middle Eastern fragrances that I've added to my collection. If that sounds good to you, stay tuned. First on the list is not new to the market, but it's new to me, and it is Vanille Blanc by Kadlaj. And I've been hearing about this for a little while, but I just decided to pick it up. Basically, I've succumbed to peer pressure. It's about to be fall. I wanted to add a few more vanilla scents to my arsenal. Not like I needed more vanilla, but you know how we do when it comes to the next season. When it's almost spring, we're adding all the florals. When it's almost summer, we're adding all of the beachy tropical scents. When it's almost fall, we add a few more vanilla. So I am no different from many of you, and I did the same thing. This is allegedly a dupe of Fleur's Vanilla Skin. I have a little small vanilla skin here, and I'm going to go over what I've experienced in using this fragrance. I'm going to smell it again just to remind myself, but I have had these all for a little bit now. Petra is the one that I've gotten the most recent, but these other three I've had for a couple of days to weeks. This one, I haven't worn it a whole lot because it's still been pretty warm here in North Carolina, but it definitely does smell a lot like vanilla skin, but it's not exact. And I'll tell you what some of the differences are in the notes. So with Vanille Blanc, what you're going to get in the top is almond, powdered sugar, and apple. And in the mid, you're getting cashmere wood, amber, and white blossom. In the base, you get vanilla, sandalwood, and benzoin. So some of the differences that I noticed with the note breakdown for vanilla skin is that you get the powdered sugar and apple in the top as well, and cashmere in the mid. But the biggest similarity comes in the base. In the base, you get the vanilla, sandalwood, and benzoin, but in vanilla skin, you also have agarwood, so it potentially will stay around a little bit longer and is a little bit more has a little bit more depth. But to the nose, just in the air, they do smell very similar. I just feel like vanilla skin is a little bit more round, a little bit more deep, and a little bit more smooth. But mind you, I have only had Vanille Blanc for a little bit of time now. So with many Middle Eastern fragrances, they tend to deepen and complexity tends to change over time. I know that can be frustrating, but it's just what it is. So those are the biggest differences that I notice between the two. They're good vanilla fragrances. They can be worn on their own, they can be layered. They are sweet with a little teeny bit of sultriness, but not too much. It's good for a variety of age ranges. And if you're a fan of vanilla scents, you will probably like it. So that's a Vanille Blanc. Next is one that I did not pick up the original of this fragrance when it first came out, and I had serious FOMO, honestly, for not picking that up. So I definitely picked up this dupe of it because that original fragrance is now discontinued. And that is the original fragrance is Easy Bake, the original Easy Bake by Huda Beauty. And since that one has been discontinued and they have a new one out now, there are left room in the market for those of us who wanted to smell that one but never got a chance to. Enter Paris Corner, and they came in with Kisa Gala. This one is allegedly a dupe of Easy Bake. I can't confirm or deny it because I haven't smelled it. But what I can tell you is that this one is pretty. This one is pretty. It's slightly sweet. It's a little bit floral. It's a little bit summery. This is my biggest concern, or my biggest problem with my bottle in particular, is that the top of the atomizer keeps coming off. That's annoying. Um, but it has some summery notes, but it's not what I would call your typical summery scent. It is one that can be worn in spring and summer easily. But I think that this is actually, and I'm glad that I picked it up now because I think this is one that will transition very well into the fall. Let me read you the notes. The top notes in Kisagala are violet leaf, gardenia, ylang ylang, and almond. I feel like that almond gives it a round nuttiness that will enter into the fall very easily. In the mid, you get tuberose, coconut, lily of the valley, and plum. Now, the tuberose and coconut, they can come off a little bit summery, but the plum gives it a little bit more weight and a little depth, which I like. And in the base, there's musk, vanilla, sweet notes, and moss. Now, the similarities between this and the Easy Bake, as far as the note breakdown, is there's gardenia in both at the top. They both have tuberose and coconut in the mid, and they both have vanilla, something sweet, and moss in the base. So, once again, the base notes are where you'll see a little bit of more of the similarity, and I guess in the mid as well, but there are some significant differences in the top and some in the mid. I don't know what that one smelled like, but I can tell you that this one is a beautiful scent. Like I said, it can go from warm weather to cool weather. The only thing that I have noticed with this is that it doesn't last the longest on my skin. So hopefully that will improve over time. But I get about 4 to 5 hours. So not horrible, but not the most long lasting. The next one is the newest girl on the block, and I actually decided to keep this one in its packaging because I thought it was very pretty, and I just wanted to show you in case you haven't seen this yet, which I'm sure you have if you're in the fragrance community, and that is Petra. Petra Viola to be exact. And this bottle is everything that everybody said it was and more. In person, I mean, it's just stunning. Latafa really outdid themselves with these Petra bottles. Um, I have a feeling that they wanted to put this in the Petra line because they wanted to give this beautiful bottle, but nothing about this smells like the first Petra. And you probably have heard that from others, and I concur. They are nothing alike. They're completely different, except for the beautiful bottle. And even that is a little different. This one has some embossing, or it's not even embossing, it's like an etched glass. It's quite beautiful. They really outdid themselves with this bottle. I think it's beautiful. And I thought the original Petra bottle was beautiful. But on to the fragrance. This is supposed to be a dupe of Mojave Ghost Absolute by Barredo, and it's a loose inspiration of Mojave Ghost Absolute, is what I understand. I do not have Mojave Ghost Absolute, and I've never smelled it before. I've smelled Mojave Ghost, and if Mojave Ghost smells anything like Mojave Ghost Absolute, then I really don't know how they could be similar because Mojave Ghost smells very different to my nose than this. So the notes in Petra Viola are raspberry, violet, and pink pepper in the top, cotton candy, lily of the valley, and jasmine in the mid, musk, sandalwood, and cedarwood in the base. And the only notes that Petra and Viola have in common with Mojave Ghost Absolute are violet, but it's in a different spot in Mojave Ghost, and musk, sandalwood, and cedarwood. But even those are in different places in the note breakdown. So I really don't know how they're being compared, but what I can tell you is that this is a lovely scent. It has a little tartness in the top. It's sweet. It's a little bit floral. It's very girly. It's very, I would say, everyday appropriate. Once again, this one can go for all age ranges. Some might find it a little youthful, but I don't actually. I feel like it has some youthful qualities in the beginning, and then as it wears, it definitely becomes a little more mature, a little more interesting, if you will. And I feel like for me personally, cedarwood does that. And I like that about this. The musk and the cedar wood are probably some of my favorite parts of this fragrance, but I also do like the raspberry and the violet. The raspberry doesn't last that long. The violet seems to last a little bit longer. And the cotton candy is it's sweet, but it's not sickeningly sweet. It's not overdone. And even though it's in the mid of the fragrance, it just gives a delightful sweetness throughout the wear that I really, really enjoy. It doesn't smell like a carnival or anything like that. It's just a light, airy sweetness, and it keeps it from being too heavy. I feel like this can be worn obviously in the spring and summer, but I feel like it has enough depth, especially in the dry down, where it can be worn in the fall. It might be a little bit more fleeting in the cold winter months, but I think that you could safely get away with this and really enjoy it spring, summer, and fall. So, this is a delightful feminine fragrance in a beautiful, beautiful bottle. And if you're wondering, I do recommend it. I wish that they hadn't gone up on their prices. That was a bit of a bummer. But if you're willing to shell out $60 for this beautiful bottle with a very crowd pleasing, delightful scent that's crowd pleasing without being boring, I think you would enjoy Petra Viola. And last but certainly not least is one that I have been trying to track down for at least 6 months. I first heard about this fragrance from Joanna here on YouTube, and she lives in Portugal. And sometimes people in different parts of the world get fragrances at different times. Well, this fragrance was released in Europe at least a while ago, and I've been trying to track it down. When it was available in the States, I missed it and it sold out, so I had to wait a little bit longer. Man, I was on the hunt for this thing. I tell you what, and that is Jasmine. I kept the box for this one as well, just because I thought it was a cute presentation. Isn't that pretty? And this is by French Avenue. They did a great job with their presentation. It's a nice weighted bottle, and this is what it looks like. It's absolutely stunning. So Jasmine is supposed to be a dupe of Tilia by Marc Antoine Barras. And I hadn't smelled that fragrance and I wanted to. And since it took me such a long time to get the dupe of this, I was able to pick up a decant, a 5 ml decant from Scent Split of Tilia. So I can compare those for you. In the top of Jasmine, you get linden blossom, broom, which is a flower, and jasmine sambac. In the mid, there's orange blossom, vetiver, and heliotrope. Did you guys see the atomizer? Beautiful. And in the base, there's musk and dry woods. It smells so good to me. It was worth it. In my opinion, it was worth the wait. Joanna told no lies. This is absolutely beautiful. I feel like it could be worn year round. Let me tell you what it smells like. So it's funny because I sprayed this, and my daughter and I had a difference of opinion. And I think that it has like a almost a grape quality in the top. And I guess that must be the combination of broom and linden blossom. But it smells like almost grape grape chewing gum and hay. That sounds crazy, but it actually works. And I think it smells very unique, very interesting, and just, I don't know. I don't have anything like this. And it really, really works for me. I really like it. Conversely, Tilia also smells like grape to me in the beginning, but it's not as sweet. It is still sweet, but Jasmine is like sweet, sweet in the very beginning, where Tilia is more balanced. So my daughter said that that Jasmine smelled like cough syrup to her, grape cough syrup, and she recoiled and she hated it. She said that Tilia smelled really good to her, and I sprayed them both on myself and let her smell it. She said she can kind of smell the grape in Tilia, but it's not the same. And she does not like grape medicine. She has always hated grape flavored, like children's medicine. So for her, it's giving Dimetapp. I don't get that. I do get like the grape bubble gum, but it smells kind of nice. I like it. But for a 12, almost 13-year old, she does have a pretty good nose, and she could, I think, pick up on the quality that is in Tilia. Tilia is more rounded, it is more balanced, it's less sweet while still having a nice feminine sweetness. And actually, the note breakdown is quite similar. The biggest difference is actually in the base of these two, where Tilia has Ambrofix and Georgia wood, and the base in Jasmine was musk and dry woods. So everything else, though, is exactly the same. So I think that if you don't mind a little extra sweetness in the profile that Tilia brings, then you might actually really like Jasmine. If you absolutely hate the idea of a grape scent, at least at the top, then you really don't want this. And maybe that's just how it comes off to my nose, because I haven't really heard anybody describe that floral scent as smelling like grape chewing gum or grape candy to them. But that's what it smells like to me in my nose. And my daughter agreed. But that's my 2 cents on Jasmine, as well as its comparison to Tilia. I love this. Love it, love it, love it. That's it. All in all, these new Middle Eastern fragrances to my collection were a hit. 4 for 4. I love all 4 of them. There are no duds in this bunch, and I am grateful because nobody wants to waste their money. And even if they're less expensive than their alternatives or their originals that they are duping, you still don't want to waste money. So I like every one of these fragrances. I recommend every one of these fragrances. If what I described sounds appealing to you, if the note breakdowns appeal with your taste, then I think these are great fragrances. Let me know if you guys have purchased any new Middle Eastern fragrances recently. What do you think? What's been added to your collection? Or what are you just using from your collection from Middle Eastern markets? I would love to hear all about it in the comments down below. And until next time, you guys go and have a beautiful, beautiful day or night, wherever you are. Bye bye, everybody.